All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 124 of the Outerhaven Podcast. I am, well, a different host this week, aren't I? I am the otaku of the internet, the one known as the Anime Pulse, JJ Piedra, Joshua, Jeremiah, and we are an easygoing podcast, much like the heroic modes in One Night in Karazhan. God, are they easy. Joining me on the podcast this week is the editor-in-chief of the Outerhaven.net, the one and only Keith Shadow Haxer Mitchell. What's up, Keith?
What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a great and fantastic Friday, because I sure am not.
Oh, that sucks. I am, because I'm actually on vacation. Woohoo!
I'm
Vacation's from work.
experiencing technical difficulties with my human body parts, i.e. my knee.
Yeah, it sucks. I feel you there, though. I mean, I got body pains, too. They're all malfunctions. We're all falling apart. And speaking of falling apart, we got someone else who also has knee problems, apparently. One and only navigator himself, Clinton Bowman. What's up, man?
Man, I got hit by a car a couple years ago, and my left knee has not recovered.
I was going to ask you, how's that car doing?
I mean,
Actually, the funny story is, when I was about 7 years old, I was up at my aunt's house sledding in the backyard, and she has like these little like a wooded area there, and I hit a patch of ice, and instead of trying to dig the sled into the snow to stop, I got the brilliant idea of sticking my leg out into the snow to stop, and I whacked it into a tree. And there's a spot right below my left knee which has a small indent, and the nerves are completely dead there. I cannot feel anything in that one spot. Unless you hit me there, then it feels like someone stabbed me with a hot knife.
Memories. We remember things till we die.
To be fair,
Damn, that was 28 years ago. Jesus
that
Christ.
is the joy. Damn, that was 1987?
Yes, it was.
Damn. Yeah, so, no, to be fair, like, I feel like being a kid back then, for me, is just a lot better. Because, we kind of were allowed to make mistakes and, like, just bust our ass. Like, I got, like, scrapes all over my body from just falling everywhere.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, let me climb these concrete steps. Whoops, I slipped and fell. Oh, well, I'm just a kid. So
Yeah,
nowadays, it's like, oh, shit, I'm suing you. Where's the doctor?
Yo, where's the bubble wrap?
Right? All right, so we got some news to talk about this week, as customary, right here on the Outer Haven. And I guess our first story of the week is one that we've actually told before because it keeps happening. Blizzard was hit with DDoS attacks again.
Charging
And,
my
of course,
laser.
Charging my lasers, indeed. Blizzard has just not been... Wow, they've just been very vulnerable. And, it's kind of funny because they've been hit with these so much that they're actually getting good at resolving them. Within 1 hour of getting DDoS, they're actually back up and running versus being down for, what was it, almost half the day the first time that happened?
Or 45 days for Sony.
Wow.
Yeah,
Way to
Sony
bring
still
back
has-
that.
Yeah, so Blizzard's getting better. I mean, pretty soon they'll be able to prevent these altogether, which is the end goal here. But Poodle Corp is the one that's claiming responsibility.
Those
The
idiots
attacks.
again.
Yeah, and they're the ones who basically brought down Pokemon's Go servers back on July 16th. And I don't know if they're the ones who did it last time, but apparently it's more or less being focused on Overwatch more than Blizzard for anything because they are sick and tired of people getting banned for cheating because how dare you ban people who actually cheat at your game. And this is their way of trying to get back at Blizzard. And of course, if it happened once, twice, and thrice, it's going to happen thrice, I guess, new word.
Is that a word?
If it's not, it is now because I made it so.
Book that shit in the Urban Dictionary. Let's do it.
Thrice. So, yeah, so what do you guys take on this? I mean, Keith, we've been Blizzard fans for a long time. Of course, you and I play World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, all that good stuff. And ever since Overwatch came out, this has been kind of like the normal thing on like a bi-weekly basis. Do you think Blizzard's getting better at this? Do you think they have the ability to prevent this? Like, what do you think?
Well, which Keith do you want to talk to? Do you want to talk to Keith, the fan of Blizzard, or do you want to talk to Keith, the technical person who works in a data center?
Can I recommend it? Yo, Keith, the data center guy. Let's go.
Blizzard should have already have appliances and services in place to get around the DDoS attacks. They make these things on purpose, and there are companies, multi-million-dollar companies, that make less than Blizzard who are able to withstand a DDoS attack with no issues and able to mitigate them within minutes. So I don't know what the hell Blizzard's doing, but they need to get on the ball and get this shit situated. There are tons of companies out there that do this for a living. That's all they do are DDoS mitigations. Purple Lotus, even Cloudflare does this. They need to do something because them just saying, "Oh, hey, we're Blizzard, we're getting DDoS." No, that's not acceptable anymore. The first 2-3 times, okay, I get you. Blizzard, you've been an internet company for God knows how long. You are providing a service to people who pay for this. There's no acceptable reason for you not to go after these companies and lock down your network and learn how to mitigate the traffic to your servers, into your core routers, into your switches. And if you can't figure it out, then there's a problem. You probably need to get some better network engineers.
Or better yet, why don't you go out and hire some white hat hackers to sit in your offices and hack your system, and when they find a vulnerability, patch it.
Well, it's not so much as a hack, because all DDoS is just basically you're just constantly being buffer overflow over and over and over and over. They can easily mitigate that if they have the right systems in place. I mean, perfect example, when we have clients at work that get DDoS, within minutes we've got that taken care of because we've already told people you need to go out and buy this service. We're at the point now where if you get DOS too many times, you either go out and get this service or we stop hosting your shit. Because when you get DDoS, you're not just hurting you, you're hurting everybody else on this circuit who's being affected. Sure, they're going after an IP address, but sometimes they go after an entire IP range. And if you're behind load balancers and you've got rotating IPs going across and you have VPN connection set up, it's not a pretty sight. Blizzard should know better.
100% right. I mean, let's put it into perspective. Really sit there and understand that Blizzard's been doing this. When did World of Warcraft just prop up? What was 2000? It was
2004.
like 2004. So this is like the year before I graduated from high school. Now this is to indicate how young I am compared to Josh and Keith. I was only in 11th grade when this popped up. So they've been doing this for so long. Technology is there. They can definitely work on that. The problem is the amount of money that they make between Blizzard and Activision. You can't tell me that they don't have the money to have prevention put in place.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the big thing. DDoS protection, DDoS mitigation is very expensive because it's one of the new things. I don't want to call it a fad. It's one of the new services. Services. I'll say services that they can afford to charge you an arm and a leg because they know that this stuff is needed. But again, there's so many companies out there that do this, and there's so many applications or appliances out there that will help mitigate this stuff. And I don't know what Blizzard's running. They're damn sure not going to tell anybody what they're running. But from all the things that have been happening to them as of lately, it doesn't seem like if they have something in place, it's not doing them very good.
Fair enough. It's fair enough to say.
Yep, absolutely. And unfortunately, these hacks also happen kind of on a bad day. It happened on patch day too. And while the attacks were more or less like centered on Overwatch, Blizzard kind of broke World of Warcraft on the same thing because they're doing the Legion invasion stuff leading up to the expansion pack, and Tuesday was supposed to be the day where they flipped the switch, and then all 6 of the invasions were happening at once, and the final part of the quest line to set up the Legion intro was supposed to be implemented, and when they flipped the switch on the servers, every single person who tried to log in got an error 134 access violation error, and the game hard crashed immediately. No one could actually get into the game.
Oh man,
so not only were they getting DDoSed, they broke their own game too.
I got a bad thought that just popped in my head. What if they get DOSed on Tuesday?
Yeah, it was Tuesday they got DOSed. It happened
this upcoming Tuesday. What happens if they get DOSed this upcoming Tuesday?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be pretty ugly. And that someone out there, maybe it's the same
Oh, they're
group.
planning it. It's getting
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, considering that this Tuesday is a Legion launch. So,
yep.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't want to talk about this no more because I can get really angry at lack of foresight going forward.
It's not just lack of foresight. There's two sides to every coin.
There's so many facets to it. You're right.
I mean, why are you doing it in the first place? I mean, and the
For
fact
them,
that people,
like,
that too, that can I do it? And then there's just so many servers out there that are easily available for you. I mean, you could go and rent a service to DDoS somebody, or you could hire somebody to DDoS somebody.
I mean, dare I use the Outerhaven example? I mean, yeah, but to be fair, why would you do that? Boy, I never saw the joy of saying, "Oh, I'm a hacker. I can DDoS."
Well, it's
That's
that. See, it's not always somebody who is related or involved with hacking. Like I consider myself a hacker because I deal with computers. I take computers apart. I try to figure out how shit works. I take code apart. I try to figure out how it works. The people that coin the term hacker, or it's multifaceted. It could be white hats, it could be script kiddies, it could be a random asshole who just wants to be Joe Cool and rent this mega cannon to take down somebody's site.
and that's what I was. That's what I'm referencing though.
It could be any one of those things.
Yeah, but I was specifically referencing the Joe asshole that rented a
Yeah.
mega cannon. Like there are those people that are out there. Like, don't get it twisted. Remember, I think it was like the year I came on, and in January 2015, around Christmas time, both Xbox and PlayStation went down
Yeah.
around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that led to the famous, what was it, the Jack Tretton apology, where we got all those great PS3 games for
Oh
free.
no, that's not it. No, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about 2015. You want to talk about 2011? Let's talk about 2011.
Yeah.
No, let's not talk about that.
Like, dude, don't get me wrong. I got me Wipeout for free, but still.
That's actually a great segue into our next topic, because it's actually Sony news, and it has to deal with the PlayStation.
Well,
And it
damn.
has to deal with the fact-
PlayStation.
Yeah, it's to deal with the fact that Sony is still not announcing a PlayStation 4 Slim, despite the fact there's unboxing videos on the internet.
You
So
talking about
this
the
is-
PlayStation? You talking about the PlayStation 4 step scale? All right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we've actually seen it. I've seen the unboxing of this thing, and my first thought when I saw it was, wow, this doesn't look any smaller than the actual PlayStation 4. And the guy who did the unboxing video broke the cardinal rule when you're doing a brand new, product like this, is he didn't actually compare it to the old PlayStation 4, which is the main thing I wanted to see. I didn't care about, the styrofoam packaging or the shiny freaking bags all the damn cords came in. I don't care about that. All I care about is I want to know how small this is compared to the original PlayStation 4. It wasn't until the end of the video when you hooked it up where you finally got to see a comparison, and it's not all that much smaller. And the design, well, to be honest, it's pretty damn ugly. Actually, I
Yeah.
love the current PlayStation 4 design way more than the Slim. And I know Keith is chomping at the bit at this because he has some things to say about the design as well as the PlayStation 4 Slim overall. So
I think we
I'm
both
going to
do.
keep him. I'm going to keep him on the end of a hook here because I know he's going to have an epic rant. Clinton, let's start with you. You've seen the unboxing videos. What is your overall first impression of the PlayStation 4
Man, the
Slim?
Xbox One S is significantly smaller than that shit. I'm sorry. Like, it looks like it. Listen, when you talk about a slim console, let's go back to the PlayStation 2, okay? The PlayStation 2 Slim was a good 50% smaller. Am I not right?
It was a considerable chunk smaller.
Was it
like-
50%? It was
I
small.
would
We'll
say
just say
I'm
that.
50, but
I
it
would
was
say
still
70. I would say 75, even if you want to throw a number. Like, it was really small compared to the original PlayStation 2. PlayStation 3 Slim and the Super Slim, they were significantly smaller than each other as well. This one, there's not that much of a size difference. It looks like a goddamn step scale out of Garfield the cat, like some shit. Like, you step on it, and it tells, "Get your fat ass off me, only one person at a time," or something.
I want lasagna, thanks.
Like, I'll be honest. If you take a look, let's go back. Me being the Microsoft head here. Take a look at the Xbox One and the Xbox One Slim, and you notice there's a noticeable size difference. Like, Keith, gotta agree because you've seen it as well.
What have I seen?
The Xbox One and the Xbox One Slim S.
No, I own it. So
So you own it, even better. So there's a significant size difference there, right?
yes, there is. You can definitely see that size difference.
With this one, you don't see it. So how can you honestly call it a slim line? I would more like call it a redesign than anything else. Like, I'll call it a redesign. I wouldn't, if Sony's bright idea on the 7th, 8th, or 9th of September comes, and they call it the PS4 Slim, you can almost guarantee that week on that podcast, I'm calling them out on it because that's a misnomer. I don't like false advertising.
Yeah, I
Well,
can see the point in that. I mean, it's not really all that much smaller. I mean, then again, the PlayStation 2 Slim wasn't also that much smaller than the original PlayStation 2 as well. I mean, technically it is smaller, but, I wouldn't really go as far as calling it slim. But I know, Keith, you're pretty much waiting to go off on Sony for this one. So the floor is yours, my friend. Tell us about your thoughts on the PlayStation 4 quote-unquote
well,
slim.
I'm not gonna go off on it, and I'm kind of defending Sony a little bit because they really haven't announced the system legitly. They haven't said anything about the system. The fact that it's out, a couple people have their hands on it. The fact that certain overseas stores are actually selling it now. It's the first thing I want to find out is, Sony, how did this system get out of your factories and out of your warehouses without you not knowing that the system's out in the wild? And how did you allow somebody to sell it on an auction site without jumping in and like, whoa, 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 this is technically stolen?
Can I play the flip side? Can I play the flip side to that? Maybe this is Sony's way of like.
And I was gonna get to that. And it could be some kind of form of advertising, either way. And the way that they're not going after this guy who know where he lives at. He has a video of the PlayStation 4 Slim out that he's, pretty much giving advertisement for the PlayStation 4. At the same time, I'm not a big fan of the design just because you're right. It doesn't look that much smaller than the original PlayStation 4, and it doesn't have the futuristic design that the PlayStation 4 currently has. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like how the upper lip goes across the system. I don't like how the two USB ports are so distant from each other, and I don't see any reason for this system. I mean, when the PlayStation 4 first came out, they stated this is the smallest they could make it at that time. Obviously, the fab process changes and you can make smaller PCBs and smaller components. I get that. But the PlayStation 4 was a perfect size. It wasn't too big. It wasn't bulky. It was great. If anything sucked about that system, it was the DualShock 4 controller that came with it. Apparently, the new one that they have lasts longer than the original DualShock 4. I've seen reports from people saying that it's lasted 2 days so far, which is great because the original DualShock 4 doesn't last a day, despite what some people on the net say. I keep
mine plugged in all the time just because the battery sucks on it.
I've seen people, fanboys on the net, bitching saying, "Oh, you're full of crap. Your DualShock 4 lasts longer than a day." I'm like, dude, I fucking tested this. It does not last longer than a day. Some don't last longer than like 5-6 hours.
And I'll be honest with you, my DualShock 4, I don't play games on my PlayStation 4 because I have the weirdest fear that my shit's gonna turn.
I remember when Bloodborne came out and I had it charged up for a day. And Bloodborne came and I died on the boss because maybe it was like the 5th or 6th boss in Bloodborne. I died because the controller died on me.
And it didn't auto pause.
Yeah, those games don't auto pause. No, those games, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, they do not pause. There is no pause. So yeah, that's that. At the same time, again, I don't think it was needed because here's my situation for both Microsoft and for Sony. So you had the Xbox One, and then you had the Xbox One S. The Xbox One was huge, bulky, power brick, all that stuff. Everybody knows about that one. The One S is a sexier, sleeker design. Does not have the power brick. It is actually a good-looking system. It actually stands upright. It's fantastic. I wasn't really sure if I was going to pick it up, but I did, and I'm kind of glad that I did because I'm enjoying the system. Now, it also came with an overclocked GPU. Not much, but you do see some performance difference. Not enough to say, hey, Xbox One runs over PlayStation 4 games, because it doesn't. It runs core, it runs quieter. And it also puts out a 4K signal. It does upscale. So there is some benefit to that system. Looking at the PlayStation 4 Slim, there's no reason to buy it. Unless you don't have a PlayStation 4 already, the PlayStation 4 Slim doesn't bring anything to the table other than a redesigned DualShock 4 controller that you will be able to buy in the store separately.
Yeah, so pretty much it's like Tony Romo anyway.
So it doesn't give you any, so far, nobody, they haven't confirmed it from Sony, obviously, because I'm not saying anything about it, but there's no HDR, there's no 4K upscaling, there's nothing. It's just PlayStation 4. Now, granted, it's great that you gave us a PlayStation 4 refresh with no added bells and whistles. And typically that's what happens with refreshing. You just give her a smaller system, more refined architecture. Great. And if
My
that's what
question
this
is,
is, then that's fine.
but can I point out, didn't the Slim have the PS3 Slim at least have a slightly faster processor than the
Slightly. It didn't really
yeah.
make a difference. You didn't see anything. And this one might. They haven't really torn this system apart and tested it because not everybody can get their hands on it. Now,
Right.
when it does eventually come out officially, which may or may not be September 7th when Sony has that event in New York, then we'll find more about the system unless one of us gets our hands on it. But for
Right.
it is right now, it's just another PlayStation 4. And I would wager to say it's not really much smaller than the original PlayStation 4. In fact, if you could take the PlayStation 4 now and remove the slanted angle, it probably isn't that much smaller than it.
Okay.
I'm not really feeling the design. I don't think that this was a move that Sony needed to do. I don't know if it was a Me Too move from Sony. I really don't know. And apparently it also I could be mistaken. I think they said the optical link is also going as well.
Yeah, the optical link looks like it's not there. So
Yeah,
there's
so
no
you
spiff.
removed it. So you took something away from the system that a lot of people still use optical cable or toss link.
Yeah, people still use spiff cables. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
High-end electronics use it because they don't want to send audio signal through the HDMI.
I'll be honest with you. I have my computer right now hooked up to my receiver through SPDIF as well as HDMI. So like whether depends on what I want to use, I'll use it.
So yeah, I don't think that was a good move. I mean, again, I'm just neutral on this right now. That's all I got to say about it.
Speaking of moves that may or may not be good, sticking with the Sony stuff, Sony PlayStation Now coming to PCs, and that's where they also touted the new controller, which we talked about briefly. The new controller basically has the light bar now at the top of the actual touchpad. It's also still in the front of the controller, but now you can actually see what color your light bar is actually changing, so you don't have to rely on the glow of the wall or whatever is in front of you to say, oh, maybe my controller is yellow or orange or red or some other weird color that I didn't know it could actually do but can do.
Or I'm dying.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty cool that they're doing that. The extra battery life obviously is the number one concern amongst PlayStation gamers, but the big story is the PlayStation now coming to PC. And the question is, why? I don't know anybody who uses PlayStation Now on the PS4, so I don't understand why they're trying to bring it to the PC. Well, I can actually take that back. I kind of understand from a business standpoint why they're bringing it to the PC, because, yeah, no one's actually using it on the PlayStation 4, so maybe they can tap into the PC market. But, the whole rental system they have is not really all that good. You can actually just go out and buy the game and just be happy with it. I understand the whole try it before you buy it thing, but there's other services out there that will do the same thing for less money. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this move. I don't understand why PlayStation Now is still a thing. I don't know why they just haven't canceled it, because to me, this is just a big, giant mess that was doomed for failure from the start. I mean, it was a good idea, but not so much at the same time. So Clinton, what is your thoughts on PlayStation Now heading to PC?
PlayStation Now going to PCs. Listen, I'll tell you in all honesty, there's PlayStation TV, you get a Samsung TV, you got PlayStation Now. You got a PS3, PlayStation Now. You got a PS4, PlayStation Now. It is literally what I call the Me Too movement. Not the Me Too, but the Me First movement of Sony to do that, so they can say, "Oh, we got backwards compatibility with cloud."
What was that console that came out?
The OnLive?
Yeah, there we go.
I actually own. The funny thing is, I only actually spent $50 for it because it came with Duke Nukem Forever. Thank God.
I was going to say, that OnLive console. How did that work out for the gaming market?
OnLive is still alive. It's just I don't really know about it. Like the purchasing of Gaikai might have been a smart move in hindsight. Right now, PlayStation Now, because Sony is the only one really doing something like that, Sony can be like,
no, they're not.
Okay, Sony can be like, okay, well, we can just totally do this and upcharge everybody because we're the only ones that's doing it. And then
They're not though.
they're not, but this is Sony we're talking about, who likes to be at the forefront of everything and make it seem like they're like the ones that did it first a lot of the time. So with them, it's like, yay, this is cool. But Steam kind of does this better, and with your own games for free.
Yeah, GameFly does a better job.
GameFly does it better now because I think GameFly works with the people that acquired on live.
Yep.
You have, and then if you're going to talk about backwards compatibility, the Xbox One, let's be honest, is probably the better of the two. Like, hands down, because it's actually the physical data of the game on your hard drive, as opposed to having it in the cloud. So if you play fighting games or sports games or games that need like almost split-second precision, like Dark Souls, and you have just a little bit of lag, that could mean your ass getting handed.
Well, Dark Souls, you can get away with it. Dark Souls it is programmed to give you the deal with latency. It does have prediction, so it's okay. Fighting games, that's still something that people are working on. That's going to be the future of fighting games. Everything eventually will be streamed. I just don't know where Sony's at.
But to be fair,
I don't know if there's limitation of the actual hardware, because it could. Because remember, PC streams all the time. You can stream fighting games on PC with no issues.
No, absolutely. What I was going to say was you have to also understand, keep in mind, we live in the United States, who technically has one of the worst overall internet.
Well, it depends. It depends on where you're at. It depends on where you're at.
It's the same overall. And then if you go into the Midwest, that's just.
Well, yeah, it's our structure. You know, we're built on old structure. Where overseas, a lot of overseas places are built on new structures, or didn't have anything in place. Like we're fighting with DSL. DSL is the most crippling. Well, we're fighting with old copper.
Yeah, we're fighting because technically the phone lines are still up, you know, and like they're still doing a lot of that stuff. So you're right.
Yeah, but we do have fiber.
We're still also getting fucking charged out the ass for that too. I mean, AT&T in my area is charging $42.95 a month for 6 megabit DSL, where Comcast I'm paying $44.95 a month for 70 megabit cable.
Well, keep in mind also copper is cheaper technology, so it's cheaper technology. Fiber optics is even cheaper depending on where you go.
Yeah, and speaking of fiber, you know, congratulations, Salt Lake City, Utah, you are officially a fiber town. Fucking Google.
I mean, I could move to Salt Lake City, Utah, because that's a real city. But you know, unlike Provo or Kansas City, Missouri,
we're getting better.
We're getting better, but at the same time, PlayStation Now might be the biggest bust that Sony's ever come up with since the Vio laptops, like
PSP
or UMDs
or the Vita.
Yeah. I think it's a good service. It's just Sony's management, just like with the Vita, doesn't know where it wants to take it. You know, they've got it. You know, when they first started, and I was beta in it, and it was like, wow, this is actually really cool. Excuse me. And then they were like, all right, here's our service plan. I was like, wait, nobody's gonna buy this.
It's really simple. Charge a one-time price for the year, unlimited rentals. Put PS1 and PS2 games on there, and you're set. Like, PS1 games and PS2 games are not very big. You can stream them and maybe get away with it. Like, dude, people would snap that up like it's nothing.
Remember when PS Now was first announced? They were talking about PS4 games as well, and then they dropped it.
Yeah, because the games are huge.
Okay, well, here's this. If you're bringing PS Now onto the PC, bring the PlayStation 4 games over here now as well.
Dude, you have remote play. I could.
But in order to do remote play, I have to own the system.
True.
Give us PlayStation 4 games. If we're paying you X amount of money for a prescription or a subscription, what do you got to lose?
100% true.
You don't make any money off hardware. You make it all software.
Speaking on top of PlayStation Now, if you don't mind, Josh, there was another announcement on top of that outside of the new controller, and that was the wireless dongle for the PS4.
Yeah, so you can actually plug that into your system and hope that the next anniversary update of Windows 10 doesn't break it.
Well, to be fair, it's kind of useless outside of like remote play in PlayStation Now, unless there's a game on Steam that is actually coded for PlayStation 4 controller support. So
I don't see that being an issue.
I don't see it being an issue
with
now.
third-party games.
Right.
Games, popular games will get patched in. Indie games might get patched in.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You'll have modders who will patch it in as well. So I don't see that being. I've already seen people on Reddit talking about, now that we have official driver support, how long is it going to take for somebody to be able to use the controller without the official dongle? And one of the programs was like, not very long at all.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. And can I be honest? I mean, Microsoft's putting their games on Steam now. I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft says, you know what, use whatever controller you want. We're putting it on Steam. We can't necessarily say no to that, right?
Yeah, you can actually.
I mean, they can, but it wouldn't be the smartest idea.
I mean, Steam is just delivering platform. It's not the control scheme. So if they design a game or they have a game and it doesn't support DualShock 4.
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, how awesome would it be to have? I'm not a fan of the DualShock 4. It's not one of my favorite controllers.
Dude, I tried doing King of Fighters with that shit. Okay, like I have trouble. My thumbs still hurt.
But how cool would it be to play?
I'm probably the only person on this podcast actually loves the DualShock 4, and because of such, I only get fighting games on the PlayStation because the D-pad to me actually feels really good for fighting games.
But I have the Xbox Elite controller.
Well, to be fair, the PlayStation D-pads have always been great for fighting games. It's just the way the PlayStation 4 controller is designed and how close things are because of that touchpad. Like the DualShock 3 controller was perfect for fighting games. Like I don't find myself touching the select button. I find myself touching the options button way too much.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't really like about the DualShock 4 is that huge touchpad and the positioning of the share and option buttons. I've actually hit the share button, which is to the upper right of the D-pad, so many times it's not even funny. It's like, no, I don't want to fucking share you. I just want to go up and to the left. It's really fucking cumbersome. And if they could just find a way to, I don't know, bring the touchpad down a little bit, put the PlayStation button above it, and the share and options below the touchpad, I think that would be better. Because that would have your typical start select setup, and it would be out of the way of your thumbs.
Oh, even that, just get rid of the goddamn speaker because nobody gives a fuck about that. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh my god, the amount of times I actually wanted to throw my controller just to get the shut up. Oh my god. Especially when you're playing Resogun. It's like, why couldn't this just be conveyed through my speakers on my television?
Like, dude, I'm playing King of Fighters, like fucking random quotes coming out. Like, the fuck? No! Like, I don't want to hear this shit.
Yeah, controllers don't need speakers. Alright, so last topic of the news we have Leslie Jones, star of the box office bomb known as the Ghostbusters remake.
Don't let certain people hear you say that. They'll say you're being sexist and misogynistic.
Fuck them.
Hey, Josh, you're being sexist.
I don't care. Come at me. Fight me. I don't care.
Come at me, bro.
Exactly, you want to fight? So basically, she got hacked. She got hacked, and for the love of God, she had some nude photos stored on a cloud server, which is probably the dumbest thing you could ever do if you had nude photos of yourself, by the way. And those nude photos were leaked all over the internet, and now a battle of ethics is being waged on Reddit and Twitter and all forms of social media. It's like, well, she's a victim, and she's got all her stuff all over the internet now. It's like, well, she should never put it in a cloud storage in the first place. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm an ugly-ass motherfucker. If I had nude photos of myself, which I don't, I sure as hell would not put them on a fucking internet service. Ever.
I will back it up. I will say back it up. Bad choice of words. I won't say that putting them on a cloud server is bad because there are cloud services, and then there are certain cloud services. My thing is, one, I wouldn't take it because who I am, Leslie Jones. Two, iCloud, the service who was notorious for being hacked and compromised over and over and over. I mean, I think a couple months ago, they had a report that they said 40 million accounts were compromised. 40 million iCloud accounts, and you're using this shit still?
Can I just be honest and just tell y'all, like, this is something I never really paid attention to this week. I just saw the pictures and I'm mortified slightly.
You want to go look for the pictures?
Listen, I'm sorry, journalistic nature.
Right.
There's journalistic nature, and then there's do not want to see.
Listen,
avert
I'm sorry.
eyes.
The journalist in me was like, dude, find them so you can at least have a point of reference. The dude
Did
in
you
me
get
was
a
like,
did you get a point of reference?
he had pictures of herself having butt sex. Okay, dude,
Oh,
no, I'm hurt.
Great. Now I'm
I'm
not gonna be able to sleep tonight. Thanks
afraid of
for
this.
ruining the start of my vacation, Glenn.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm hurt. I'm
Leslie
so hurt.
Jones, I'm sorry.
Here's the thing, and this is a point that I'm gonna make. You have to understand. Now, me and my mom had this conversation because she was the one that alerted me to this whole thing in the first place. And she said, and this is why I tell y'all, don't post shit on the internet.
Well, that goes without
And you
saying.
see, I don't post shit on the internet. I don't use the internet. And I'm like, you're not wrong for not using the internet.
I mean, I'm not gonna say don't post shit on the internet, but if you have your own pictures of yourself being nude, and I'm not gonna say, don't do it. I'm not gonna say do it. But please, for the love of God, use certain liberties. If you're gonna put pictures up there because you want them up there or you want to send them to somebody, put them up there and fucking raw them and put a password on it and make sure that they're encrypted. For the love of God, just don't throw a picture up there because anything up there on the net, I don't care how good your security is, it's like this. If it's on there and somebody wants it bad enough, they will get it. That's how the
I be
internet
honest?
works.
Like, dude, if you do it like cell phone to cell phone, I could just say, "Ooh, look at that data piece, snipe." Like, it's pretty easy to do.
You just don't do it. Then again, you don't use a service again who's notorious for being compromised over and over and over. For the love of God.
Like, and the thing about it is, and again, apologies for that kind of
We did not want this to be our main topic, by the way. Why are we still talking about this?
because it's kind of important. I'm sorry, like it's kind of important to the nature of the human existence, not to be. And if you're going to be stupid, don't be stupid on the internet. Okay,
That's where most people are stupid on the internet.
No, be stupid don't be stupid on the internet because once you're stupid on the internet and people have never heard of you before and they find this shit out and now they see this shit, that's all you're gonna be known for. And that's a problem. Like you have to think the internet is the other half of your social persona.
He said persona.
If you go out you have your social persona, you have your home persona. The internet basically grows your social persona. So whatever you do on the internet, whatever you do outside, people correlate that and put it together and just make one giant image of you based on just that one larger facet because your personal facet doesn't even matter at this point. People like people for their politic nowadays, and it sucks, but this is the case. This is the case where it is. So when Leslie Jones started reacting when she got it on Twitter, which wasn't right, but she still negatively responded to negativity with negativity, it created an image of her, and people have a bad image of her. Now they have fuel to make fun of her. She should have known that going forward. Because again, I'm going to bring up the example of Michelle Obama. If Michelle Obama or Malia Obama or Sasha Obama did the same thing, it would be a huge problem.
But they're not stupid enough.
They're not dumb enough to do
that. Oh my
that.
God, Michelle Obama. Oh my God, that woman is on the top of the food chain when it comes to politics, awareness.
She's being a woman. Like
she's just so positive. I mean, she's unheard of. She's uncanny. And I'm not saying it because I think she's a great woman. She is, but everything that she's doing, she's been on point. She has not made one stupid mistake, not once.
But like how many times do I have to hear when I say that Leslie Jones is a jackass for doing half of the shit she did and have it called victim blaming when it's just don't do anything stupid?
Well, you're going to have the people playing the victim card when they know they can have people rally behind her, regardless of you're right or wrong. That's just how the internet works.
Like, no, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you are wrong, you are wrong. There's no two ways about it. You can't have both sides of the equation. It just doesn't work.
Well, people tend to disagree with you. That's where the internet comes from.
We'll do this all the time. That's where Reddit comes from, and that's where pretty much every one of life's problems comes from. Reddit.
And Tumblr. I like Reddit, certain places, but Tumblr.
So the lesson we learned in all of this is if you have nude photos of yourself, stick them on an external hard drive, unplug that shit, put it on the shelf, and just forget it's ever there.
Or just don't do
Please.
it.
And
Unless you want
if
everybody
you're
to look
gonna
at you.
And if you're gonna show it, off, if you're gonna show it off to your man, make sure you show it on your device, not theirs.
Or use the service Decoder Ring, where you can actually encrypt it in the link, and as soon as the person opens the link self-destructs. There you go.
Dos, you are the man for that. Yo, plus 10 intelligence.
Absolutely. So that brings us to the end, thankfully, of our news segment, because I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Leslie Jones and butt sex. Good job, Clinton.
Yep. So we have two brand new segments here on the Outerhaven Podcast. One of them is called the What the Moment of the Week, where we just find a bizarre news story that just makes us go, what the? And this week basically is Norway promotes a penguin to the rank of brigadier. Yep,
Hey, wait,
that's
stop.
right.
Wait, I need is there any Full Metal Alchemist fans in here? What rank did Hughes get when he died?
Actually, honestly, I don't remember.
God
It's
damn
been
it.
so long.
Actually, you know what? I'm looking that up right now.
While you do that, Sir Niels Olav III is a penguin, and he is in the Royal Norwegian National Guard, and basically he is the mascot for the National Guard, to be more specific. But today he received a major promotion in the form of the title of Brigadier. So yes, they are now lorded over by an actual fucking walking, talking penguin.
And I found it. Mace Hughes is a brigadier general in
That's what
in
he got
his
when he died.
posthumous.
Yep.
So we have a penguin, the equivalent of Mace Hughes.
Oh.
But except, unlike Mace Hughes, this penguin's still alive.
Hey. Oh boy.
Wow, what the fuck? Incoming packing storm. Here we go.
I'm just sitting here just waiting.
Me too.
Oh man.
So, ironically, this actually started back in 1972 when a Norwegian army unit paid a visit to Edinburgh Zoo, and they adopted basically a king penguin, and since then he became, well, the mascot of the Norwegian National Guard. So, yeah, congratulations to a penguin who is now the same rank as Mace Hughes and Fullmetal Alchemist.
I still like Hughes
Absolutely.
better.
This kind of ranks in the same shit from like South Ketna, Alaska, with Mayor Stubbs the cat.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
the
one of
thing.
those weird things. At least it wasn't about a Chinese machine in the hospital which, self-extracts sperm from males. That's actually
what?
a thing, by the way.
Oh
That
my
is
god.
that is a what the fuck for next week.
I can do that
No,
myself, thank
well,
you.
maybe, because I did that on my old podcast. I could recycle some of them, though, because some of them were just like, Jesus. Like the guy who sued Nintendo in a Donkey Kong suit over, like, emotional distress or something like that.
What?
Those are real stories. And speaking of news segments here on the Outerhaven Podcast, we got another one called the Rapid Pulse, which are news stories which take care of themselves by the headlines alone. The fourth season of Working premieres in October. You can now play Solitaire and Tic-Tac-Toe on Google Search. There's going to be a Bleach live-action movie. Apple may be working on a Snapchat-like video app for 2017, and The Rock's version of the Jumanji movie will not be a reboot. It will actually be a sequel. There you have it. Those are your rapid pulses for the week. And that actually brings us to the end of episode number 124 of the Outerhaven Podcast. So, final thoughts? Keith, what do you got for us?
I'm speechless. I don't have anything.
Wow.
I know,
Really?
right?
Nothing.
And Clinton's not here, so pass on him.
What?
Actually, he's here.
Oh, fuck. He's back.
So, Clinton, final thoughts. What do you got for us?
Alright, Hatsune Miku Project Diva X. The embargo is officially up, so I can kind of talk about this now. The review is going to come out this weekend. Should be coming out Monday because the game comes out Tuesday. It is still not better than Parappa the Rapper for two reasons. Why does
Or Persona.
It flying across the screen? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I kind of start seizing out after a while. Like, just trying to like catch up. Like, I feel the game is good. Don't get me twisted. There's some good songs. I just personally feel that Hatsune Miku might be a better series. The Project Diva series might be a better series and a more popular series if it had popular music, through the Vocaloid's voice. That's just me.
I agree.
More people would buy into it. Like, for example, Taylor Swift is pretty damn popular. If you had like a Taylor Swift song, I guarantee people be buying it at the clip that they buy shit like Just Dance.
Yeah, my daughter said the same thing. She was pretty much turned off. She was like, I don't like this music at all.
Yeah,
And
so,
she loves J-pop. She just was like, this is garbage.
Yeah, so pretty much that being said, it's like that's pretty much going to be crux of my review. The game is actually pretty decent, like I said, but there's just too much things flying on the screen. They need to start to really confine this because to have all like I get how certain people can do it. For me, it's like,
nope.
I want to keep playing it. I'm like almost done, but I just want to stop because it just gets way too hard halfway through the game.
All right. Fair enough.
Fair enough. All right, my final thoughts is I fucking hate Comcast.
I think
really
we
do.
all hate Comcast. Man.
It's Comcastic.
Absolutely. And with that being said, it's time to get some shills to pay the bills. You can always find us over on theouterhaven.net. You can go ahead and check out all of our other shows on there, like the A1 Podcast. I remember it fondly, and maybe, perhaps, the return of the experience. We'll see. But if not, got your Sony stuff covered with Sony-centric. So for Keith, Shadow Hacker Mitchell, and Clinton, Navigator Bowman, this is JJ Piedra saying Godspeed to out. Fuck.
Come on. Hold on. I thought you were going to advertise our Twitches as well because we do that.
I just actually thought of that. That's why I went, fuck. I forgot about the Twitch. All right. Redoing the shills to pay the bills thing.
No doubt.
All right, that being said, my final thought is I fucking hate Comcast.
I think we
really
all
do.
fucking hate Comcast.
No, I love Comcast.
Stop lying.
In a parallel dimension.
Okay, cool.
Now, with being said, it's time to get some shills to pay the bills. You can find all of our stuff over on theouterhaven.net. You can follow us on Twitch. You can go search there for the Outer Haven Net. And, of course, you can check out all the other podcasts that we actually do, such as the A1 Podcast. You can also check out maybe the Microsoft Experience, maybe coming back. But if not, we got all your Sony stuff covered with Sony-centric. And, of course, we have the newest podcast in our family, I Remember It Fondly, where we take a look at some of the older movies. Now, of course, you can find us on the Outer Haven Net for Twitch, but we also have our own channels. Clinton, go ahead and pimp yours.
Yo, Clinton Navigator Bowman here. Catch me twitch.tv/Navigator Bowman. I will be playing the Pokemon trading card game online for the foreseeable future until WWE 2K17 comes out. And when WWE 2K17 comes out, you can catch me doing an unboxing of the NXT edition live Tuesday, October 11th at 8 o'clock. And then it's going to be on every Saturday night from 8 o'clock until about midnight, playing my career and all the other stuff that it has to offer.
And, of course, Keith, he also streams as well. And as a matter of fact, he was actually streaming a little bit earlier, I believe, yesterday. So, Keith, tell them where you can find you.
What's up, everybody? You can catch me at twitch.tv/ShadowHaxor, ShadowHaxor. And I play games like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, upcoming Neo, things like that. And I don't think I'll be streaming this weekend. If I do, it'll actually be Deus Ex Mankind Divided, since they patched the PC version. And coming on Tuesday will likely be a live unboxing of World of Warcraft Legions Collector's Edition.
Can we join you?
Yes, you can. That's the whole point of Twitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I have a Twitch myself, but thanks to Comcast, I barely use it because I never know when I'm going to get hit with my own Ddos attack by the name of Comcast. But if you want to follow me in the case that I actually do start twitching again, in more ways than one, you can catch me at twitch.tv/Kaledine. That's Kaledine. And once these internet problems, if they ever get fixed, I'll probably be streaming a lot of things like Hearthstone, Diablo, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, pretty much everything Blizzard.
Don't you have a YouTube that you can do that too if you put up stuff on that still?
Yeah, I actually do some videos and put them up on YouTube, which is youtube.com/user/JOSPIEDR. So, of course, we also have our own at YouTube as well, the Outer Haven Productions. Go ahead and check out all of our stuff there where you can find this podcast, all of our other podcasts, unboxing videos, and all the other great stuff you can come to expect from a geek culture channel. So that being said, I think that brings us to the end of the podcast. For Keith Shadow Hacker Mitchell and Clinton Navigator Bowman, this is JJ Piedra saying Godspeed to all you out there in Radio Land. Peace.
Good night.
Yes.
Get off my point. I love so much of this.